What's up, basement dwellers? Welcome back to episode 2 of Coffee and Games with your founders of Basement Arcadia, Uncle Danny and Doriann.
What's going on, guys? How you doing today?
So, last time we talked about what we considered was retro and modern, but today I got a topic that's really been on my nerves for quite a while, and I'm sure you'll agree with me once I say this. Microtransactions. I can't tell you how many times that I would sit down, play a game, I'll be like, oh, look at this. This looks pretty neat. I'll buy it. I don't want to earn it. And the amount of money that I've spent in, like, Counter-Strike, and well, you'll probably see an image of that, or Marvel Heroes, and that'll bring me up to another point here in a minute. Just to get more things in the game that would normally take a long time to earn. It's annoying. And we also have, like, paywalls that when a new expansion comes out, if you want to play this or play with your buddies who have the expansion, guess what you get to do? You're buying it. And I guess that's one of the few things that really just drives me up the wall about modern gaming is all the paywalls, all the DLC. I'm sorry, if I'm spending $60 to $100 on a game, it better be the goddamn complete game. And excuse my language, but it really gets my blood boiling at once in a while, and I'm sure you can agree and attest to some of this.
I do. In fact, I play when I think of a microtransaction game, the ones that drive me up the wall the most are the ones that are free to play. The League of Legends, the Path of Exiles, nowadays like a Rift. Well, Rift is actually an exception there, and I'll get into that later. But League of Legends and those style games. Those ones right there, I think, are the ones that get people the worst because it's totally free to download. It is free to play. And unless you're me, you've probably dropped some money into it that's not, free. Where you've probably paid enough to buy at least tens of other games on release date.
I can tell you now in League of Legends, I probably spent close to $3,000.
That's insane.
That was to buy every single champion as they came out. Because, let's face it, I didn't want to wait to earn the champion. Champion came out, he looked fun. I bought him that right then and there.
How much was it per champion?
About $10.
Okay.
$10 for just a champion. I'm full of aesthetics. I love having skins, and I'll get to that here with Counter-Strike in a minute. If you wanted to buy the champion plus one skin, $11 to $12. If you want to buy the champion plus both skins, $15 to $20. I spent $30 on skins before just to have an exclusive skin. Like in League of Legends, there was a Pax Sivir skin, and she was all dressed up like Tron. I'm like, that's cool as hell. The only way to get it, you had to go to PAX. Went to eBay. Found a guy who's selling the code for $30. Didn't even think twice. Paid for it right there. Guess who doesn't play League of Legends anymore?
I'm feeling a lot smarter right now. I never spent a dime on that game. I played it for a bit and said, it's kind of neat, but that style of gameplay, that wasn't me. That was kind of my introduction on that kind of free-to-play game. I've tried a few since then, and honestly, I don't know. I just don't find them that appealing. I don't like the whole idea. Yeah, it's free to play, but if you really want to do anything with it, they nickel and dime you. And I am just not if I want a full game, I just want to drop the money and be able to play the whole game. I don't want to have to constantly be doling out, money after cash after cash after cash until before I know it, I've spent $90 on a free to play game, and any game worth playing is not worth $90.
To give League of Legends and Riot Games credit, they do a very good job about having a free-to-play game. Like I was saying earlier, I spent money to get the champion on day one. Could I have gotten the champion for free? Yes. I would have had to play the game, earn up enough of the not Riot points, whatever the other currency was, I don't remember anymore. And at that point, it was I think it was 6,300 for a new champion. That's 25 games. If I would have just played those 25 games, great. Or, if I would have saved them up while playing other games, and then when champion drops, I would have had it on day one. But no, I was the dumb one who went, I need to have the skin, I want to have it now. And that's just me, I guess. But
yeah, I don't care about that. I've seen all kinds of stuff when it comes to customizing your avatar on Xbox or customizing your background. that kind of stuff. It'll cost you a couple bucks. I've never bought that. It's just, I don't care. I don't care about that. I just want to play the games. So aesthetics and stuff like that, I can't think of a single time where I actually spent money. I don't know. It's kind of like spending money on your phone background. I don't see the point. I know people do it, but I don't get it.
I'm guilty of that. Like, and my wife, if you're listening to this, you can vouch for me. I've spent way too much on microtransaction in games. Like I said, League of Legends, probably $3,000, and that was over the course of 5 years, though. So, I mean, breaking it down, it's still a lot of money. That's
an insane amount of money, especially on a game you don't play anymore.
Right, but I sold my account for some other in-game stupid things, which I then sold for more in-game stupid things. So it's a vicious cycle that I actually haven't seen. Actually, I finally have seen the money come back to me but that's a different thing. Counter-Strike, they do a very good job with their microtransactions, and what I mean by good job is they grab you by the short hairs and they make you spend thousands of dollars just to get an aesthetic skin that does nothing except make your item look a little bit cooler. There's no stat bonus. There's no speed bonus. It's quite literally cool. Instead of having the default knife, my knife now looks like a rainbow sword. I'm like, that's cool. I like that. And I like that I could turn around and sell it again on the Steam Marketplace so I could purchase other games. But it's a gamble. For me to actually open up a knife, they found out the averages were roughly 1 in 150 cases. At $2.50 a case to open, that's like $300 if I did my math right. Almost $400.
I don't get that. I don't get it. I know people do it. I just don't get it.
I'm unfortunately one of those people who, at the time when I was playing Counter-Strike competitively, or semi-competitively, I would have to have all tricked out gear. I wanted to make sure it was all the best looking. I wanted to have a knife skin. I wanted to have glove skins. I wanted to have the expensive rifle skins because you don't see them every day unless you own them, which I did. But it started getting to the point where I had to start figuring out, do I want to buy this skin or do I want to put food on my damn table?
Well, that sounds more like you have a problem. That actually leads me into one reason why I really, really don't care for microtransaction games is because, granted, people... Before I say anything, I agree. People are responsible for their own actions. However, there are people who are just prone to gambling, and when it comes to, that kind of stuff, I just feel it's so easy just to, that's how the business plan is set up. It's so easy just to hook these people and to get them to keep spending and spending and spending. And I don't care for the whole mentality behind that plan. For someone like me, it's great. I can try something and say, you know what? I don't like that. I can delete it and I'm out nothing. For the most part, that's how it's been with me. I'm just not a fan of those kinds of games. I don't want to dish out actual money for little bits and pieces. I'd rather just either buy the game or don't buy the game. That's my own personal thing. I don't care for the business model that preys on those that just don't have that self-discipline. And like I said, it's nobody's fault but those consumers who can't control themselves. But I just feel the business model does prey on them a bit. The only thing I don't like, the only thing I hate more than that are microtransaction games where it's pay to win. And that's one of the worst things that I can think of when it comes to that. Because he who has the biggest wallet wins. And that's crap. I refuse to play any game where it's set up that way. Luckily, most games aren't set up that way, and even ones that were going to be set up that way have been changed at the last minute just due to the outcry.
I would disagree with that on one specific game. There was a game called ArcAge. A lot of you guys may know it. It's an MMO, and it was quite literally pay to win. And there was a Korean streamer who would wear a necklace of credit cards. He always had a couple credit cards hanging out of his mouth. And he goes, look, I'm so good at this game. Hold on. Oh, that item's better? Now it's mine. And he literally spent tens of thousands of dollars per week in this stream just to be number one player. The game did a reformatting. Guess who's still number one? The guy who spent tens of thousands of dollars to just be able to keep doing his farming and stuff like that. Because in that game, to farm, you had to have resource points. When you're out of resource points, you have to wait for them to regenerate, or you pay to get more.
Yeah, see, that's ridiculous. Like, that's something I would never play. The one I was referring to, where there was such a public outcry of the whole pay-to-win thing, was Battlefront 2. That was the one where that was literally set up as a pay-to-win, which just was a kick in the nuts to anyone. Because first off, that's not free to download. You have to buy the game, and then, if you want other stuff, you gotta pay more. And that is just one of the biggest middle finger game systems that I could even think of in modern gaming there.
And for some of you guys who don't know exactly what we're talking about with Battlefront 2, so if you pre-ordered the game, you got the game 4 days early. There was a system in the game where you could buy crates, or you can earn them, but earning them, you get a crate every 2 to 4 hours. Or you could just buy the crates. These crates would contain items that would give you stat bonuses, aesthetics, and a few other things. But the fact that they gave you a stat bonus, the guy with the biggest wallet's going to get everything out of the crates that he needs.
Yep.
And it now just became pay to win.
Yep. And so, I don't want to play something that's that, because I'm not going to throw that kind of money at any game.
Right. So with the big outlash and the class action lawsuit that was going on, and I don't know the whole details on the lawsuit, needless to say, EA Games had pulled the microtransaction out of this game the day before launch.
For now.
They never stated that they're not going to bring it back later in the future.
They did state that it's for now. So they pretty much said it's just a limited thing.
Right. And if they change it so it was like Counter-Strike where it's aesthetics, fine. If you want to spend your money on that, go nuts. But needless to say, the minute you start paying for your stat points, the game is over for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I still pay to play on some of these games. Like you were saying before, Path of Exile. I put in some money for that game, but
I've put in some hours, but no money.
The money I put in was for quality of life benefits. Mm-hmm. So, like, I bought extra stash tabs because I filled them. I can understand that.
That is a microtransaction that I would consider. And real quick, that is one thing that when it came to Rift, where I'd say that might be a certain exception. Path of Exile sounds like it would be the similar exception. I have thrown a couple bucks at Rift. Mostly, it's more convenience.
The quality of life.
Quality of life. And that I can at least understand, especially if that's free to play. It's one of those things where you don't have to, but if you just want that convenience, throw us a couple bucks. Okay, not exactly still my favorite, business model, but I can at least accept that. It sounds like Path of Exile's that as well.
Yeah, Path of Exile the same way. So, like, I bought extra stash tabs. Great. So I have 12 stash tabs. That's cool. They're filling up quick because I have all these different currencies I have to worry about. Oh, guess what? We have a currency tab for you. All right, I'll buy that too. And then I bought a couple other ones literally just for the quality of life and making things easy. Because now instead of having 10 stash tabs full of currency, I have one stash tab that will hold 5,000 of each currency. I will never have that much currency, so it was great for me. But looking at it, I mean, not all microtransactions are bad. There are some companies who will do microtransactions pretty well, and the money supports companies. Like, for me, like, throwing a couple bucks here and there at Path of Exile, I'm okay with that. Yeah, their microtransactions are pricier than most, but they're a small group in New Zealand that, created a game that was what Diablo 3 should have been. And for them to be basically a small company to put out a game of this magnitude now, I'll support them. I'll throw them a couple bucks. But things like Counter-Strike, like I was saying before, I'm done with them. I am not throwing Lord Gaben any more money. Gaben, you've taken so much of my money, and you've only given me 3 knives. I've taken 3 of those knives, and I'm going to give you this, because I made my money back. Yes, that's right. If you're watching this, Lord Gaben, I broke TOS. I sold my skins for real money.
Now, I'm not going to actually, one thing I just want to make clear is, with these free-to-play games, I'm not one of those people who's going to just say, well, I just don't think it should. That's not what I'm getting at. If Path of Exile were to come out, and it would be like, pre-order Path of Exile, $60, and it's just the whole game, and you get everything, I'd be cool with that. Then you just have the game and everything it comes with. So I just wanted
You're talking about, like, with all the extra stash tabs and everything?
Yes. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not. I just want to make sure that I'm clear that I'm not complaining that I have to pay for stuff that I think it should be free. That's not what I'm getting at. I just wish it was more of an all or nothing thing. If I'm gonna buy a game, I expect that game to be complete. I expect to just be able to bring it home and play it. This whole newer model here, I can't get into it. I can't agree with how it's set up. It's just my own personal belief as far as how it's done. But I think it's back to what I was saying. I just think it preys on those that they know are going to spend way more than they normally would.
So let's look at some of the pros and cons of it then. So the pros of microtransactions, and I'm not talking about pay to win microtransactions, just microtransactions in general. You're supporting a company that you enjoy playing their game. Great. That's my only pro.
My pro is I can try before I buy. That's one thing I really do like. It's like a game demo. And almost every game that comes out now, you can play a playable demo on almost all of them. And I kind of look at it as that. If I wanted to just download this and try it out and see what I think, if I don't like it, I'll delete it. No money lost. That is one pro that all those microtransaction games are. Is you can try all of them for free.
Oh, I'm not going with just free-to-play microtransactions. I'm talking microtransactions as a whole. So, like, Call of Duty has microtransactions.
That's
Counter-Strike.
True. That's
I mean,
true.
I had to buy both those games. So, just in general, my only pro I could think of.
Oh, you're talking, okay.
Yeah.
That, not just free to download and then microtransactions, just
right.
I have zero pros then. None. In fact, I think it's awful.
Again, for me, it was, I'm okay spending a little bit here and there to support a company I enjoy. Looking back at some of the companies that I paid to enjoy their products, like Marvel Heroes, or now Marvel Omega. Some of you may have played it for the 3 months that it was available on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, or some of you may have been playing for the 5 years it was available on PC. It was a 100% free-to-play action RPG game, and what I mean by action RPG is similar to like Diablo or Path of Exile. They gave you one free hero to start with, and then you can earn Eternity Splinters to buy additional heroes. There are about 400 to 600 Eternity Splinters to get it. You got them at a fairly decent rate. You could, if you played your cards right and played enough, you can get a hero one every week and a half. People like me were like, you know what? I'm just going to start buying these heroes left and right. They were $20 a hero. There were 63 heroes. We're not doing any more math on how much I spent in this game.
That's insane.
But the best part about it, the game's gone. Disney pulled the rights from Gazillion due to some issues that the CEO had. You guys can look that up later. That's nothing we're going to talk about. But now, I've invested all this money into a game company that I liked, mostly because David Brevik worked for them. David Brevik is the father of Diablo. He's the one who created it and made this amazing game for us to play. We won't talk about Diablo 3. He now is on the Path of Exile team. Here you go, David. Have some more of my money. But now that that game's gone, I'm owed all that money. I'm not getting refunded for it. I'm not seeing a dime come back to me. And I can't play it anymore. So with microtransactions, my biggest con is right there. I've spent how much money into this game, and now I can't play it ever again.
Yeah.
Because of the rights were pulled from Gazillion.
Yeah. Oh, I have a huge list of cons. Now, I'm all about supporting the game company. And back to what I was saying, I will do that by buying the game. I don't want to buy a game and then have to pay for it some more when I bring it home. That's a very recent thing where you have to do both. Buy the game and then... And I'm not talking about extra maps and DLC and bonus games, you know, like say Fallout 4's different DLCs.
World or whatever.
Yeah, those are actual, like, you know, later on programmed games that, you know, they work on after they release the core. That's different. I'm talking about when you get home with your new game and you put it in and you have to drop more money on this and that. That's bullshit. 100%. That is my biggest pet peeve, and I will not play games that do that.
I will.
I will not. I will not throw my money at that.
And no, like, now that I'm a new father, I need to realize that I can't just keep dropping this money on games that eventually are going to be gone. Like,
yeah.
What am I going to do when Path of Exile is gone?
Yeah.
And I'm out, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm about $100 into Path of Exile, but I've been playing since 2000 and 7. So 10 years, $200. That's $20 a year.
That's actually...
I'm okay with that.
That's like... actually, it's less than that because there's 12 months in a year.
But it's 10 years.
Yeah.
So $20, 10 years, 200. That's where I'm getting my math from.
That's less than $20 a month.
I can't do math.
Anyways, it's about, I mean, that's actually not bad because if you break it down that way, that's about on par with paying for World of Warcraft. That's a little something different there because people will be like, well, I bought the game and now I got to pay $15 a month. Yes, but you are actually paying for server maintenance when it comes to that. So there actually is a point to it.
That is not a microtransaction.
No.
Paying for WoW, you all know me. I'm a Blizzard fanboy. I love Blizzard like there's no tomorrow. And if I could get a job with them, I would drop everything I could to work for them. It's empty.
Oh, okay.
But with that, I mean, they gave you options when you did your subscription plan. You could pay $15 a month. You could pay, what was it, 13 for 3 months at a time. So it'd be 13, 39.
If you pay annually, I think it's $12 a month.
Yeah, or if you pay by the year, it breaks down to be $12 a month. Mm-hmm. I personally, I knew I was going to play the game for a long time. I still personally paid the $15 a month because I wanted to pay a little extra, knowing that the money's going towards server maintenance, making sure that the game stays alive.
Yeah, and you don't have any worry about that. I can't believe how long that game's been going.
And it's still going, and I mean, Blizzard has a really good way of doing it now. You don't have to pay to play WoW anymore. Farm gold, sell your token for a month.
That's right, they actually have that.
They technically have now gone free to play.
Asterisk. Yeah. Some details will apply, but if you play it right, you could actually do that.
I will still pay to play WoW because I'm paying for server maintenance. I'm making sure that those servers stay up. I'm making sure that the people who are maintaining those servers are being paid. I mean, can I pay it free? Yeah, I could. I can farm up the gold, but the money's supporting something I like.
Yeah.
And if that's the only game I play, spending that much, you're buying more through your PlayStation 4 than I spend in a year of WoW. You
Easily.
buy 3 games for the PlayStation 4, you've spent more than I paid in WoW.
Yeah. And that's a little bit different when it comes to a monthly fee. I don't look at that the same as I do microtransactions, especially what I see you're getting when you have to spend extra money. It's stupid with a lot of these new games where you just, World of Warcraft is just a whole different, the MMO series, it's a whole different genre. The ones I'm complaining about are the discs that you drop into your console and then all of a sudden have to spend more money, which there aren't too many of them, but my God, that's something that you just should not exist. Honestly, all around, I would have to say, when it comes to microtransactions, if I had to choose between whether it be a good thing or a bad thing, in my honest opinion, I just find it all around a bad thing. I don't care for that business model.
I'm indifferent with it. I'm okay with it mostly because I'm an addict when it comes to gambling, but I'm okay doing it here and there. But that's also because I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser, so I know that I have to be more careful with it. If I was 18, I would have been like, microtransactions, fuck you, and I still would be paying left and right and out the ass.
If microtransactions had come out when I was in my teens or...
You might not be gaming today.
Oh my God, I don't know. It would have been a different world. In my teens, that was PlayStation, like original PlayStation, so it was very different. There was barely internet, so...
When did microtransactions start? Now looking back, I'm trying to think of
The first time I heard the term microtransactions, I want to say was probably about 8 years ago. When,
Farmville for Facebook.
Stuff like that. When a lot of those Facebook games and those like little mini games like that where you kind of like shell out money here and there, one of the first times I heard microtransactions was right around that era. So I want to say, it was very late last decade. I'd say maybe 2009 is when I really started hearing about it. I'm sure it could have existed before that, but that's when I started to take notice. And around League of Legends time is when I really started becoming more the norm. When I saw that with a lot of those play for free games. The advent of the iPhone and the smartphone also brought forth a lot of those download free to play now. And then, of course, you're going to throw money at it.
Oh, you're out of energy. You could wait, or
Yeah.
you could give me $5 and I'll let you keep playing.
So I want to
here's $5.
I want to say the very late 2000s is when microtransactions kind of came to be a thing, and I just avoid them altogether. Any game that involves transactions, I ignore. I just say no, thank you. I got plenty of stuff down here to play, so I'll
And a
play
lot of
those.
you are probably thinking, "Oh, I only put in a couple bucks here and there." Take the time, do yourself a favor. I thought the same thing, and you're about to see some screenshots of how much I've put into some of these games. I want you to sit down over the last month or year that you've been playing the game where you say it's only $10 here, $10 there. Add it all up and see what kind of total you get. Steam does a really good job of telling you how much you've spent because they also reward you with cards, their Steam trading cards, just so you can get more XP on your Steam account. I can tell you now, sitting in my account, I have close to 4 pages of Counter-Strike Go trading cards that will do me no good. But, and mind you, you get a drop for every $10.
Yeah. Nope. I will always be, just buy the game. Just buy the game and play it. That's all you should do. It's all you should have to do. Just give your money to the business to give you something that will entertain you until something new comes out. Don't give them money and then give them more money on top of that money for the same freaking game.
Which brings us to another point. Games like Destiny. So I played the base game. First DLC dropped. Cool. I'm not going to buy it right away because I want to wait, see how my buddies review it. Cool. I want to go play a game with them now. Can't play with them. They all have the DLC. I don't. Guess who has to buy the DLC to play with them?
Now I'm curious. You can't even log in, period?
No, you can log in. You can play the base game, but there's a lot that's limited because you don't have the expansion.
Okay, because I was going to say...
So like Destiny 1, for instance, when they dropped the first expansion pack, half the game was immediately locked down because you can't play it because of the expansion.
Okay, because I was going to say... Because back to World of Warcraft, I came into it a little bit late. I came into it right when Wrath of the Lich King dropped. Now, all my friends that had been playing it since vanilla were all, out in Northrend. And, of course, I'm like, but they could come back, and I could still play with them as long as we didn't go to Northrend. Because I didn't have that DLC yet. But we could still play anywhere in Vanilla World. And you can't do that in Destiny 2?
Destiny 2, I don't know.
Or I'm sorry, Destiny.
In Destiny 1, when I was working at GameStop, that was the biggest complaint. Well, I can't play half these things now because I don't have the DLC. It's like, wait, what about the PvP aspect? It's locked until you buy the DLC.
Wow.
So you
I
can
didn't
even do
know
the
that.
multiplayer PvP side of it
Okay,
because
yeah,
there was
that's
the walls.
That's awful.
And that's where paywalls come in. It's like...
Well, when you said paywalls, I would always think, like you can't go to Outland, for Burning Crusade if you don't own it, or you can't create a certain character because it's Burning Crusade.
That's also a paywall though too.
It is, but it's understandable. Whereas something that was accessible in Destiny 1 is all of a sudden not accessible because you don't own the DLC. That's crap.
I know there was a big backlash with Bungie, and this is all things that I don't know if it's guaranteed or if it actually happened. There's things I heard from the grapevine. When the Fall of Osiris DLC just dropped for Destiny 2, there was a huge outlash because there were certain functions that no longer worked until you had the DLC. Since then, they fixed it because they didn't realize that happened. So, but for that first week, I think they were trying to get people to buy the DLC. Mm-hmm. So, for that first week, PvP was inaccessible unless you had it. Certain planets were inaccessible, and you couldn't even pick up the quest to even see if it's something you want to do.
Wow, dude. I mean,
and I could be wrong. Please don't quote me on that. And if I am wrong, please post in the comments what exactly happened. This was just things I heard from the grapevine.
I still haven't played Destiny 2, so I can't confirm or deny that.
And I can't confirm or deny it either, just because when I bought Destiny 2, I paid the $100 to make sure I got all the expansions right away. So... But for people who don't have the expansion, that first week when it dropped, did they actually unlock or lock you out from certain things like PvP and stuff like that? If you guys can comment and confirm, that'd be great. But I guess that's my biggest gripe right now is microtransactions and how they nickel and dime you for everything.
Yeah, you shouldn't, pay to win is bad. Handicapping somebody because they don't have the latest game on stuff that was included on the base, that's just deplorable when it comes to trying to, manage your gaming business. I mean, wow, dude.
And like I said,
you bought the game.
Like I said, this is just what I heard, but Bungie acknowledged and apologized right away, saying that was not intended to happen.
Well, at least there's that.
And they knew about it, and it didn't help that, you had millions of people on their forums going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just spent $60 on this game last week, or $30 when it was on sale. You dropped the DLC, I can't play it anymore. Oh, sorry, it's our bad.
Yeah. I mean, legitimately they made a mistake. That happens.
And yeah, they retroacted it, they fixed it. They can now play the full game minus the expansion parts.
That's how it should be. I mean, if you don't buy the expansion, you shouldn't have access to it. But my God, to handicap them in the stuff they've already paid for, no.
Right. That's completely BS, and you should no longer be in business if that's how your business is run. Could you imagine if they did that for WoW? You couldn't even log in until you bought the expansion?
Yeah, or you all of a sudden couldn't do any PvP in WoW unless you had every single expansion.
Well, you have to worry you might run into one of those classes that are in the expansion. I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, come on.
I never thought of that. I wonder how that happened. I wonder how that works.
You fought against them. You'd see the death. Like, when Wrath came out, I had a buddy who was not in Wrath yet. Mm-hmm. I was playing on my Death Knight at the time. I partied with him. Okay. He just couldn't join me in, like you said, Northrend.
Right.
But I was able to be in the vanilla worlds with him. I was able to help level him up. So
I mean, yeah, I suppose
you can still see everything.
You just can't be them.
Right. Okay. Or play in the area. Which, that's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That one I'm okay with.
That makes perfect sense. You didn't pay for it. You don't play it. That makes sense.
But with expansions like Wrath of Lich King, Burning Crusade, can we really call those like DLC? I mean, you think about it. They're technically a whole nother game as an expansion.
They're expansions, and most stuff that we call DLC, they are expansions. For instance, the DLC back to Fallout 4, those are all expansions. Some are larger than others, but the season pass thing and everything, I can get behind that in the sense that they can release the full game and then continue to work on it while people are playing the full game to release stuff later on. That I can at least, get behind. One thing I don't like about expansions and DLC is I'm seeing less and less hard copies of it anymore. I have the hard copies of all the Fallout 3 DLC. I have all of it. The reason I have that is, what happens years from now? I want to go back and play through them, but those aren't available on the servers. Maybe they will be, for all I know. I don't know, but
no, you bring up a good point. Like Marvel Heroes, can't play it anymore.
Yeah,
spend all that money, but like with Fallout, 10, 12 years from now, can you still play it?
Well, I'll be able
to the disc. Yes.
I'll be able to drop it in my Xbox 360 and play it, and I will be able to drop in and install all the DLC because I own them on hard copy. Will they still be available on the Xbox server? For instance, the original Xbox server went offline in, I think it was 2010. Mm-hmm. You cannot go online with your Xbox anymore. There's nothing. The servers don't exist. I'm assuming the same will happen someday with the 360. I'm pointing at my consoles. You can't see them on screen. I have them all right here. The Xbox 360, I'm assuming sometime in the 20s, there's a good chance. It came out in 2005, so 2025, it'll be 20 years that the Xbox has been, online. I don't know if the servers will stay on or not.
I honestly don't even give it that long. I gave it 5 years because you got to think, we have the Xbox One out. Mm-hmm. We're going on its 5th year.
Are we really?
I believe so. Why don't you look it up really quick while I talk about this? So when the Xbox One came out, and when PlayStation 4 came out, they both had a business motto of they'll guarantee 10 years before the next system. We're getting close to the 5th year. I mean, with the Xbox 360 coming out in 2005, 2015 was 10 years. 2025 will be 20 years. I don't think the servers will be on from that point. They're not even making 360s anymore.
No, they're not.
So, I mean, for them to keep supporting it, especially when we're this far into the life of the current generation, I don't see it happening. I give it less than 5 years before they actually pull the plug on some of those servers, and they unfortunately force people to move up to those new systems.
It will be 5 years on November 22nd.
Yep.
November 22nd, 2013.
So yeah, we're coming up on its 5-year mark. That's
We just hit its 4-year mark.
Yeah. So we're at the almost halfway point of its guaranteed life cycle or span before the new system. Now, don't get me wrong. We'll probably see a Xbox 2.
Whatever they call it.
Yeah. Xbox One 2.
The Xbox X. I don't know. I don't know what they'll call it.
But either way, we'll
Something
probably
not
see
clever
that.
and confusing.
I would say in its 7th year, we'll see that they start announcing it. On their 8th year, they'll start getting ready to release it. On their 10th year, it'll be fully released. That's pretty standard for systems now.
Yeah.
To get 10 years out of a system, you're doing really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with how technology is advancing and moving.
So, that being said, what's going to happen with the DLC for these old games? Because before that, all the old stuff that I owned, there's no such thing. You own the game or you don't. But yeah, I do have my problems. With a lot of the way modern games are set up, where you can't just buy the whole game anymore. And there's different editions. There's regular, gold, platinum, and the "why did I spend this much money" edition. And most of it is just digital crap that you get.
Whoa, hold on. If I bought the "why did I spend so much money on this edition," they're giving me statues that are looking like dick.
I would hope you at least get that, but I've seen some of them where you don't. It's literally just
all aesthetics.
Stupid amount of aesthetics and just add-on stuff.
Fortnite.
Yeah, it's
sorry, did I say that out loud?
I remember when the Old Republic came out. Granted, now that's another MMO. It's a little bit different, but
the most expensive edition was $200 or $150.
Yeah,
I had a buddy who pops into my chat every once in a while, Crimson Row. He's a real life friend of mine. He paid for my collector edition, which I still thank him every day for. It came with the game in a steelbook case. I love steelbooks. I will pay more for a steelbook because I'm stupid like that.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to
Came
that.
with a soundtrack. The soundtrack for that game was great. Have I listened to it? No. Came with an art book. Art book's pretty cool. I got to look through the art, concept arts. It's actually pretty neat. It then came with my authenticator. That was pretty cool. It gave me.
I did not know that, actually.
It came with your little authenticator,
okay.
And then it gave me the Darth Malaga statue, which broke when we were trying to put it together.
Lovely.
But $150 for a broken statue, an authenticator, art book, game, and soundtrack. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love buying collector editions. I still like getting all those neat things. But if I'm going to spend $150 to $200, that thing better not break on day one, and it better be damn cool. The last big collector edition that I bought like that, Fallout 4. I got the Pip-Boy edition.
That one, I didn't do it, but I was tempted. That was one of the only times where I was tempted to get something that ridiculous.
And the only reason I did it, not for the Pip-Boy that I got to wear, which I can't wear because my arm's huge, it was actually the box it came in. It was the Pip-Boy carry box. It opened up just like it would, and you see it all displayed out. It was cool. I bought it for that stupid reason because I'm dumb and like to spend money. That's not here nor there. But in the end, I mean, me and Dan are in agreement here. This is what we think of microtransactions.
Yeah.
This is what we think of the people who want us to pay for these microtransactions. And you know where to shove it if you're trying to make me spend more money on just aesthetics. Call me, I'll keep buying more.
He will. Yeah, and I'll just be one of those ones who just doesn't. I'm under the old-fashioned firm belief that if I'm going to buy a game, I'm going to buy the game. If you want to have me pay for extra stages later on after they're in development, yeah, I'm totally behind that. But it's nickel and diming after I've already bought the game is unacceptable.
Extra stages is a very loose way to say it. Because look at Call of Duty.
Okay,
you get your map packs so you can play different multiplayer maps, but it doesn't give you any more story.
No, you're right. I probably...
If they give you more story content,
yes, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I was not... Yeah, I'm not talking about map packs. I'm talking about more game, like continuations later on. That's what I'm talking about. For one, I'm not a Call of Duty player anymore. I haven't been for years. I don't care about map packs and all that kind of stuff. If you are, awesome. They're fun, but it's just not my thing. That I'm not talking about either. Map packs, they're fine. You shouldn't be required to buy them.
Right, absolutely.
In order to play. Everything should come with if you're going to spend $60 on a game, it should come with more than enough to keep you occupied. If they want to add some stuff later on, fine, that's fine.
But they better be adding story stuff and not just an online map pack that I can play once every 12 matches.
Yeah, and I just would prefer. It will never happen, but I would just prefer to have games go back to you buy the game, you play the game, and you can play it whenever you want. You don't have to worry about getting all the DLC. I kind of miss having just buying the game and you're done.
I wonder if it's because there's a generational gap between us too.
It probably is. It probably is.
You're super opposed to the microtransactions, all that. I'm okay with it to a degree. When it becomes pay to win, no.
We need to get someone here born in 2000 and see what the comparison would be there. Get an 18-year-old in here and give their
between
two
the
bits.
70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, well,
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually be really interesting. For all of you, I know a lot of viewers are, in there. If you're in your teens and early 20s, I would love to hear your take on this because your view on gaming and video games is going to be completely different from mine. So I would very, very much love to hear other people's opinions who are more on the younger side because they're going to probably be the complete opposite of mine.
Right, where I'm kind of that bridge between your generation and their generation.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to me rant about how much I hate microtransactions and love them. Make sure you guys follow us at basementarcadia.com. You could also make sure you hit that subscribe button. Show Uncle Danny some love here. That way we can keep posting things.
Show Dorian some love too on Twitch.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Dorian78. You guys have seen me live there. I generally play what's new and what's hot. My chat's pretty low. So if you ask me a question, I see the question, I'll answer the question. I love chatting with my chat and my viewers. And you get to join the community.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.